Hi guys, I am Nu-Trix the Synth guy, and today I'm talking about the Novation Circuit MonoStation. It's a great piece of gear, honestly. I am a fan of Novation synthesizer. I own a Base Station 2, a real analog synth, which most of the design of the internal synthesizer here is based on. There's some tweaks, but I did a video about the comparing of the two. If you want to know the differences, go see that video. Should be a link somewhere. I'm also an owner of the original circuit. I did test it out in December and I loved it so much that when Novation asked me to have it back, I sent it back because I had to, and 3 weeks after I bought one because I just had so much fun playing with this box that I bought my own, and now I'm making music with this. So some stuff will come out of this soon, I promise you. But the cool thing about a Novation Circuit MonoStation is that when it's analog, and it's a little bit different than what you have on the circuit, the original one. In the original one, you have a drum, 4 different samples you can play with, or 4 different tracks. There's different ways to look at it. And there's 2 different synthesizers. Full complex synths from the Nova series. So it's a really powerful synthesizer, but everything is virtual. In this case here, it's real analog. The top part is real analog and the bottom part is a sequencer. Most of what it is in the sequencer is stuff coming from the original circuit. So if you want to know more, go see my other video on the original circuit. Most of the sequencer is basically the same. But there are some features dedicated to this one that you need to know. You know, if you use a Circuit MonoStation, there's some features you need to know exist, and you can play with that. And so what I'll do today is I'll go through the features I find that people must know. I'm not going to talk about the obvious, but I'm going to talk about these features that should get you the most out of the Novation MonoStation. So let's go and look into that. The first thing you want to look into is the options of oscillator 1 and 2. You have 2 ways to look at it. Expand. Now what I have is 2 octave. I've got a 2 octave on the same window. In dual mode, I see the 2 at the same time. If I press the 2, you hear the 2 different synthesizer. I'm gonna open the filter. Okay, so you hear the 2 separately now. So I can control oscillator 1 and 2 separately. So that's cool. Now, you might want to have the oscillator 2 trigger the envelope, even if you don't play the first one. Like, I would like to have it trigger. So that's in paraphonic mode. If you go normal paraphonic mode, mean you trigger the oscillator 1, this one triggers the envelope, and to be able to hear this oscillator 2, it means that the first one needs to play. Because if I go like this, it doesn't work because only the first one triggers the envelope. So go shift, paraphonic mode, and then this one also triggers the envelope now. So the 2 oscillators become 2 separate triggers for the envelope. So you still hear the 2 at the same time. You play the 2, but this one can trigger as alone, and that one can trigger as alone. They can work separately. That's a cool thing. The MUTATE function, to be able to really hear it, let's go into pattern, just use pattern 1. It just creates random combination of notes, so you can hit one that you really like. So one way to have ideas is using this. Let's say you want to start from scratch. You can actually load an INIT session without having to, if you want to start from scratch, you turn it off. Okay, and you press on Shift and Clear while you turn it on. What you have is an INIT patch. There's nothing in it. No notes has been recorded. There's nothing. So you have to enter everything you want. Let's say I want to key tracking for the cutoff frequency to move with the notes. Because if I go iron notes, So the filter opens up now. If I go shift, key tracking, now it's at off. So I went shift, key tracking. The red means it's turned off, and then everything else, it's the value of how much basically the cutoff point is following which note is playing. So it's going to open and close following that. The other thing that is interesting, you actually go in and you can record. Okay, so I recorded the movement. If you want to duplicate something, let's say you go into pattern, you like that pattern, want to duplicate it. Well, the duplicate is hidden here, so go to shift, clear, and then it becomes green, because normally when you press clear it's red, so you're going to erase. So go shift and clear, it's green, and then say I'm going to copy this one, there, and it's done. You go here, you get your superb bass loop happening. Gliding, okay? How much you want to glide between the notes. Gliding is hidden here under gate, but you have to press shift. So shift glide will show you here from 0 glide, so it's off, to the maximum glide. So these are just how much, you know, let's say from 1 to 16 values. I go put maximum, if I press play, you hear the gliding really sounds bad. In this case it's too much, but maybe some gliding and none. Let's say keep on this one. So we've got like the first quarter of gliding values. Interesting. You go into sequence here, keep record on, you press on, let's say you want it on this one here, and you open the filter. You go on this one. So did it do it? Did it work? It works. It opens here and closes here. Opens, close. Okay. On stop, hold record, plus the step plus the knob. You press on clear. You move the frequency here. You're going to erase all the movement of the frequency cutoff point for the entire pattern. So if you want to erase a movement that you did you don't like, you'll clear, move this one, and now it's gone. Something cool that I actually like is the pulse width. Now, it's there, but you need to look for that. There's a pulse width here that appears there. It's in gray here, so it means you press shift to have access to this. So for this to work, you need to be in pulse. By pressing shift, you turn on this, and you're changing the value. So let's... If you want to change some system settings, you need to turn off the machine. I'm going to turn it off. Turn it off. Press on shift and turn it back on. And I've got new features that's really cool. You got these things here that you didn't have before. You got this thing here. This is what they call pot pickup. Basically, this is when you want to turn a knob, and you, by default, if it's off, when you turn a knob, the value will jump to where the knob is while you touch it. So if it was at 0 and you turn a knob that's at 127, it will jump to 127 right away. It will be no smooth movement. So it will just jump to the value. Now, if you turn it on, it means that when you turn the value of your knob, it will only change the sound or the value when you cross the value that is in memory. So that's pot pickup. Then you have these things here. Okay, these are the resolution of the analog clock out. So if you want to sync this with, let's say, a Volca Beats, then you need to select the right clock out. If you want to sync it to another thing, then you need to change. So these are basically choices of 1 pulse per quarter note, 2 pulse per quarter note, 4 pulses per quarter note, 8 and 24. Depending on the value of resolution of the receiving sequencer, you need to change this to control the right values. We're in the sequence. want to start from scratch, go Shift Patch. Now you got initialize your patch right away. Whatever, go Shift Patch back to initial. The smooth value. Let's say we have this, okay? Go in modulation sequence. I'm going to send a modulation sequence to, let's say, the filter. Okay, so the sequence will turn off the value. You see the value is going every time it turns on. You see the filter cutting off. Perfect, that's what I want. If I find it's too rough, I can go Shift Smooth. You hear the movement changes right away. It's smoother, but it's not destructive. This is not destructive. So you go Shift, you take the smooth out. Still go back to the rough value of the original. Shift Smooth. What you'll see is that when you turn it, you don't know when it's 0. It's kind of hard to find. So go Clear when you move it, and when you cross 0, it stays, you see the blue, and so you're really at 0. So it's one way to get rid of it. You're really back to a neutral value. So it's now no depth. So I have this one playing, okay? Okay, cool. I go, okay. Maybe I want to change a little bit the automation. So I'm in this one and go Note. I see my notes. I go, okay, this one, I'm going to go Record and move it to this end, just like this. Here. So I recorded the steps for each of these, and you see the value change in here. Okay, so you either do it in real time while pressing record, or you can go in and record each of them separately by pressing the right step, recording it, and moving it. Now say I don't want it, I want to delete everything on that key. You can go Clear, and the key is erased, but every note is erased now. And press play, that key is erased. There's no note, but everything's erased. If you want to erase again just this, you go Clear and you move this, and you're going to erase all the movement of this in the sequence. So. Okay, so these are little tips that if you understand them, you can really go fast in this. And something cool again with this is the pattern settings here, and some people don't even go there. Well, I've got one pattern playing. Listen to that. I go into pattern setting. I go in pattern settings here. And then you have these things. What you have at the bottom here is the sequence playing, the one I'm actually hearing right now. This is to select the section you want to play, the first and the last note. So if I just play with the white one shows me the last note. Actually, you don't see it right now. The white one here shows me the note, the last note. If I put this here, just play the 8. Stop it here. But if you press Shift, then you select the first one. Okay, it's totally different. So you're changing the first note by pressing Shift, and if you just press on the pattern, you select the last note. So you have the movement here. So that's one thing. The other one is this thing here. That's normal playback. What do you hear? So So you're changing the value of each step, so that you're changing basically the speed of the sequence. But it's still 100 and whatever it is, same BPM, but it's just that this now is linked to a different step value. And wait until it gets to the end. Okay, now listen to this one. This is normal. What do you hear? It's backward. Backward. This one. So backward, forward, what they call ping pong. Okay, you're just playing once, one side, and once the other side. And the last one is. So this is random. So you get the normal, backward, back and forward, or ping pong, and random. So this is pretty cool to play around. And this is saved, if I'm not mistaken, with the sequence. So if you turn, let's say I put this one backward. Okay, go back to pattern, take the second one. This is normal. Go back to this one. This was backward. So this is a per pattern setting. So you can change these for each patterns. Pretty cool. That's it, guys. I hope you actually enjoyed the video I did. I hope that if you own a MonoStation, you can go further with it. A thumb up if you like what I'm doing. Share it with your friends. I'm just happy to, to share what I know. And I enjoy playing with these things, so I hope you enjoy too. See you. Cheers.